My name is Tyler Clift, and I want to welcome you to Missional Mondays, where we take 10 minutes or less to encourage and develop our hearts as missional believers. I want to thank you for joining us, and we will be going through the devotional resources entitled Sent. This has been developed and used by TrekX Missions Organization. A big thanks to their founder and president and my dear friend, Chris White, and their team as they trek, train, and launch missional believers throughout the world. To find out more about their mission and their organization, you can go to trekx.com.
Hi, my name is Kate. Today we're going to be talking about how the Bible tells one big story, and it is the most important story of all time. Over the next few weeks, we will watch the biblical story unfold. Our story begins in Genesis chapter 1. We see God hovering over the waters of the unformed earth. Then he breaks the silence and declares, "Let there be light," and there was light. By his words, God spoke into existence night and day, heaven and earth, land, sea, plants, the sun, the moon, the stars, fish, birds, and animals of all kind. And God declared it all good. This is where we come into the story. Genesis 1:26-28 says, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth.' So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves over the earth.' And God looked at it all he had created, and declared it very good." This is the picture that Genesis 1 gives us. In Genesis 2, the story zooms in on God's creation of man. It starts out with a picture of God's finished creation. It is very good. God then ceases from his work and rests. God blessed this day and made it holy. Next, we see man being formed from the dust in the ground. God breathed life into his nose, and the man became alive. God created the Garden of Eden and placed the man in the garden to work it and to keep it. God told the man that he could eat from any tree in the garden except for one. He commanded him not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and if he did, he would surely die. Then God expressed that it was not good for man to be alone, for they set out to find a helper for him. So God brought all the animals that he had created to Adam and named each one of them. However, none of them were suitable helper for the man. So God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep and took a rib from his side. From this rib, God formed the woman, and he brought the woman to Adam. Let us take a look at the man's reaction next. Genesis 2:23-25 says, "Then the man said, 'This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.' And the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed." This is where Genesis 2 ends, and where our story ends for the day. God created the heavens and the earth and everything in them, and he created man and gave him dominion over the earth. He gave man a mandate to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the earth and to subdue it. Man was created to make a family, work, create culture, work the ground, and rule over the animals while worshiping God and following his way. However, the story takes a dreadful turn, and this is what we'll look at next week.